Second, we have 10 seconds till we actually start. So I'm curious to see how this actually works because I don't know how it works. But we're going to wait 5, 3, 2, 1, and we are officially live. Welcome, everyone, to our second live show.
Yay, welcome, welcome.
Yes. So this is Mike and Lauren Live. We do it every Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard. And tonight we're going to talk about life with me.
This one.
So a lot of our videos, I do the scripting, and it's kind of my narrative, and then it's Lauren's opinion. Tonight is all about Lauren.
It's all about you, but it's what I think about you.
Did you see how I did that? I turned it around back to me.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that nice?
That was good.
Anyways, so thank you everyone that's here. We got some feedback from the last show, and there were a couple of things that we wanted to do differently. We wanted to get right into the topic a lot sooner, and we wanted to make sure we got more interaction from you guys. So if you guys are sitting there on watching the stream on your computers, we can see your chat room right here. So go ahead and leave comments, and we can respond to those as we go. What are we going to talk about today, though, Lauren?
Mike, and how interesting he is. You're interesting. You're an interesting bird. We're going to start by talking about our difference in personalities, though.
Yes.
I'm a planner. I like to know what's going on. Mike's not. Like when we went backpacking last year, he refused to book our hostel for the first night, which was super fun for me. I was freaking out a bit, but that's just how he is. He doesn't plan things. He's definitely an entrepreneur. I have a whole list of businesses to go off of here in a second. Always jumping to something new, but it always works out.
Mm-hmm. Well, actually tonight, we're going to go over most of the business failures I've had. And it's actually, we made the list. There's actually more than a handful of really big mistakes that I made.
Not mistakes. I wouldn't call them mistakes.
No, don't forget anything, but I was adding it up the other day, and there's some 5-figure mistakes in there. So let's get right to it. First things first, let's go back in time a little bit. How did it start? How did we meet? And
how did we meet?
Yes.
Oh, you want that to be in this?
Yeah.
We met at youth group at church.
Mm-hmm.
I was 12.
Mm-hmm.
Mike wanted to start dating when we were I was 15.
Yeah.
I didn't want to. Wasn't interested. He talked me into it. Eventually I caved.
Mm-hmm.
And we went from there.
And so my personality back then, well, is it the same or different than now, would you say?
The same.
Okay. And then how did you respond, or how would you adapt to that?
I don't know. I guess I knew you so well before we started dating that I was kind of used to you always being involved with something with your friends and businesses and all that. So it never really surprised me. So I just kind of rolled with it. I never really asked questions, which is pretty much how I still deal with it. I don't ask questions.
This actually came up. We were having dinner with a friend the other night, and he mentioned, it basically got brought up that the trust that you have in me for the
right. And that's we tried to buy a house earlier this year. It actually just went.
Yep. So you guys that have been following on Twitter or even Reddit, we mentioned a couple times that we are under contract for a rental property. It actually just fell through 2 days ago. So we're looking again.
But us in a nutshell is that Mike tried to get this house and I never even saw it.
Right.
Mike tried to buy a business in New York and I never even went or visited the business, which is us in a nutshell. I trust him enough to make a good call. So
in high school, we met. The first business, though, was college. This was the big one.
The big one, yeah. And I don't know how you jumped right into it. Mike started a cleaning company when he went to school in West Palm Beach. I was still here in Sarasota, and he got a pretty big contract pretty quickly.
Yes. So, Ryan, are you on here? I don't know if he's on here yet, but Ryan Bauckham is I would say a close friend of mine. You could say that. We've been friends for forever. The school bus that we turned into an RV in our last video, if you saw that last video, he was one of the friends that converted that bus to an RV with me. And so we were in college in West Palm Beach, and we started a cleaning company together. And we started off with a couple small contracts. Before you know it, we were making, maybe $1,000, $1,500 a month off these little contracts. And then we landed a huge contract. And when I say huge, we had no experience with this kind of stuff. And it was, I will say, Actually, I might as well just say the numbers. The first contract we signed was for $12,000 a month. But
How much square feet,
Yes.
though? That's the crazy part, too. How many square feet was that?
was it 300,000?
That was ridiculous.
It was ridiculous. Long story short, $12,000 a month was way underbid. We actually went in a few months later and said we need to double this to make this happen. And they bought it and they signed the contract. And we, within a few months of starting our business, had a $24,000 a month contract with this huge building.
2 18-year-olds.
Yes. So we got a very early start in business and got a very early success. And Ryan and I didn't tell you this, but Ryan and I the other day were actually talking about how that kind of maybe hurt us a little bit because we've just jumped into so many things afterwards that we're expecting this instant success and it just has never happened again.
I want to make note, though, Cody B said not mistakes, learning experiences, and I like
Yes.
that.
Yes.
Thank you, Cody B.
Learned a lot. So cleaning company was the big one. You would think with a $24,000 a month contract that we were just rolling in money, but we were not. Most of that went to hire employees to clean the place. Go figure. But walking away from that,
Well, you got a taste for business and decided that he was going to get, Redbox now. Well, how many years? 7 years ago, Mike bought a DVD rental machine and decided, I'm going to put this in a gas station, and bought the thing and put it in a gas station. The guy at the gas station was like, hey, I want something else to fill this spot here. And Mike said, hey, I'll put in a coffee shop here. And so he jumped into the coffee and DVD rental business.
okay, yes. So walking away from the cleaning company, we did really well and walked away with like $30,000 after it was all said and done. At that point he had already moved off and gotten married. But I took that and then started the coffee shop and the DVD rental business, which cost, go figure, about $30,000. Put all the money into that. And then the DVD rental, what happened with that?
You wanted to focus on coffee.
Oh, yes. So we focused on the coffee bar, and then the coffee bar went under quickly. That was my first five-figure mistake.
Coffee bar didn't go under. It was actually the gas station.
Yeah, so it was inside of a gas station. It was a pretty big gas station. It had like a post office and stuff in it. But then they went bankrupt, actually, and they closed down the gas station for 2 weeks. So we were trying to float this coffee bar, and there were no customers because the whole gas station was closed.
Yes.
So that was a quick $30,000 loss.
Yes. Yes.
So that kind of sucked.
So that was another one. He also did this as soon as I moved to West Palm. This was all in Sarasota. So I moved to West Palm to be closer to him, and he was back in Sarasota all the time. So
Right.
That was just stupid of you. The smelliest of them. You'd think cleaning company would be smelly. It's not. The biodiesel company was the smelliest.
That wasn't before. Because
That was after.
It was before we married, though.
Yes.
Oh, coffee was
Right.
before we were married.
No, right. Coffee was.
Was
That's what I just
2006.
said. I moved
Oh,
to
yeah.
West Palm.
Oh, yeah. So the biodiesel thing. So I don't know if anyone remembers, but back in 2007, gas prices were going up to like $4 and $5 a gallon. It happened real quick and didn't last very long. But basically what I did was then went around to all the restaurants in all of Sarasota, and I bought the grease dumpsters. If you go behind any restaurant, you'll see it's usually there's two companies. There's Griffin and there's Darling that collect all the waste vegetable oil from restaurants. So when restaurants cook food in their fryers, they throw away the oil. A company comes and picks it up.
The most rancid smelling substance ever.
So I went around, got my own dumpsters, got my own barrels, and put them behind all these restaurants.
This was worse. I won't call this a learning experience. This was a failure.
No, it
you
wasn't.
sent money to Africa for oil.
But you didn't you didn't hear the end. Okay, so before all that, while I was collecting all this oil, I found a website online that was selling bulk waste vegetable oil on barges. Turned out, go figure, it was a huge scam. So right before we got married, I actually wired $1,500 to, and it makes me sound like an idiot, but this guy actually set up this whole elaborate website that mimicked a real company in Africa that was exporting this oil. And there was eventually this whole lawsuit that they had with this guy for setting this thing up. I was in the wrong place at the wrong time. But wired $1,500 and it just disappeared and never came back.
2 weeks before our wedding.
Yes. Anyways, but that one actually wasn't a failure because I built that one up and then sold it for $15,000.
He made a profit, which, again, that's why I don't ask questions, because usually he does. So I don't really ask questions.
How long did the cleaning company contract last? That was about 1.5 years. And how did that end? Ryan had left at that point. to move back.
They had someone else in charge.
Oh, that's right. They hired a new manager, and he had it out for us. He hated that we were these young kids with this contract. And then some other stuff happened, and was also my fault that we had some employees there that were they like sleeping in the...
No, they were stealing stuff. They were on camera stealing stuff.
From the bookstore.
Yes.
So that was just the final straw. It was nothing I could have done. They were just on camera. They had stolen like something stupid. Like,
I think they broke in the register.
Yeah, the register, but there was no cash in there. It was a like bookshop register. Anyways, yes, it lasted a year and a half. Netted from all that about $30,000, which dumped into the coffee bar, which lost almost immediately.
So that happened. So what do we go to next? Oh, electronic cigarettes.
Okay, this one
is the one that
this one makes me the worst.
No, it makes me the most mad because in 2009, Mike bought electronic cigarettes
from China. This was another. So I wire money places all the time, apparently, because we did it for the scooters, which is coming up next. Did it for the electronic cigarettes. Did it for the oil, waste vegetable oil.
This one worked though. He got a case of electronic cigarettes.
When no one was doing it.
No, it was pretty much unheard of still.
Yeah.
And so he got them from China. They arrived to our apartment, and he started selling them, and for a good profit. You just got busy with other stuff, and work was crazy, and kind of.
Oh, that's because I bought them. It was right when we moved to New York. Okay, this is how this one happened.
We were in White Plains.
Yes. So we moved to New York, and then it was when I didn't get the job yet at Dynamic. So I was. Yeah.
No, we weren't in Nyack. We were in White Plains.
I don't remember.
We were in White Plains.
Anyways, it was before I was really working full time and really traveling a lot. Was it because I wasn't traveling? It was the winter. It had to be. Because I got them as like a side income type thing. And then I started traveling every week. Mm-hmm. And then that just...
So that stopped. But I actually sent Mike an article about 3 months ago about this couple who, same thing, bought... Really creepy.
Down to the date. Yeah.
Bought the electronic cigarettes from China.
The same manufacturer, the same everything.
They have a multi-million-dollar company.
I think it was a $13 million company now. It was a husband and wife team.
$13 million a year.
$13 million a year, husband and wife couple that bought the exact same cigarettes, electronic cigarettes, at the same time that we did.
That makes me a little sad.
So if anyone wants some really old electronic cigarettes that the fluid is all...
Most of the fluid is leaked.
Yeah, but we have them in the back room. There's 100 of them.
Those away. Yeah. Tech repair. I forgot about this one until last night.
Yes. This one was not my fault. It was not a failure. It was just a waste of 3 days.
Happened.
When we were in New York, after I did the whole making money online thing, and that failed, we should put that one on there. Anyways, we have a video about that.
Before that.
Okay. I don't know the timeline. This one was iPhone repair. So there was this guy put an ad on Craigslist for an iPhone repair business for $30,000.
In Manhattan.
In Manhattan. So I went down and I shadowed him for 3 days, saw what he did. It was in Chelsea. It was in a cool, it was behind a UPS store. So it was like this little private shop thing. And he had a stream of customers coming in all day. He had repeat customers. He was going to teach me everything. He was going to leave me all the inventory.
He had no books, though.
He had books. It was a New York cash type deal. Anyways, still would have been awesome. I think he was making 100 something a year and clearing like 70 or 80 of it. So it would have definitely returned that investment pretty quickly. Mm-hmm. Had a gentleman's agreement, shook on it, shadowed him for 3 days, and then out of nowhere, this other guy comes in and says, $50,000 cash, I'll give it to you right now. I came in the next day for my training, and he said, I sold it yesterday for $50,000. So that was a shame.
Mike has his heart broken a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. Most controversial. Marijuana dispensary.
Okay. This one was my bad. So after touring, this was right when medical marijuana became legal in Detroit or in Michigan. I had worked with a guy who, up there basically how it works is there's dispensaries, like there's the huge ones, and then as a person, you can grow your own marijuana and be a caregiver for 5 people.
You don't need to go in this much detail.
Anyways, he was doing well at it, and I saw the potential in marijuana being legalized. So we thought, hey, let's go into business together. Lesson learned, don't go into business with a pothead. I should have known. Anyways, That was a $7,500 mistake. Went up there, bought all these lights for growing, his whole tricked out his whole basement and everything. And then he was just a pothead and just didn't do it. And then sold the equipment for pot money. That was a failure. That was a pretty big one.
Okay. This one didn't actually end up happening. It was really, really close. We lived in New York, and if you've ever been to Central Park or seen Central Park on any movie, there are horse-drawn carriages that drive through the park. Mike studied and took the test to be a horse-drawn cabbie driver.
I wanted it so bad. I worked really hard at that.
He did. I mean,
I worked really, really hard.
Flashcards and this whole thing.
Yeah. So I passed. There's 2 parts to the test. There's the driving / manners / how to be a cab driver, and then there's the veterinary side. So it actually is kind of comforting to know those horses in New York. You actually have to be pretty highly trained to take care of them. So there's a veterinary side, and no one passes it. And I didn't pass the veterinary side. They wanted to know some vein that runs up the back of the knees, the horse's knee or something. And I said the one above the knee, and it changes names once it hits the knee. I don't remember the exact details, but failed the veterinary side, and then I gave up.
Mm-hmm. We have a question.
Mike, between these entrepreneur experiences, did you have a regular job? Good question. I don't know how we're not broke. I don't understand it. Because they've always made some money, but going through them, we're talking like $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 down the drain.
Well, most of them you made money.
Yeah. So while I was making
There's
them...
another question you missed.
I know you guys have a video dedicated to making money online, but I'm curious, have you ever done any dropship e-commerce business? It's something I've been researching and curious. All right, Kevin, we'll get to that one in 1 second. Let me finish the... did you have a regular job? Basically, yes. These have always been side businesses, except for the oil I went full-time with. And that one made money. Cleaning was full-time. And...
That's it.
Coffee was full-time, but that was just a short period of time.
Company then. You had the cleaning company.
Oh, that's right. They overlapped a little bit.
Maybe that's why it failed. He stopped running the cleaning company.
We're putting pieces together here today. Okay. So yes, I've had a full-time job. Some of these have made money. Apparently they've made more money than they've lost. I don't know how. The dropship e-commerce. Yes, I did not actually get into this, but I definitely explored it. It just seems like everyone's doing it. I couldn't think of a unique selling point. I couldn't think of a way to separate myself from everyone else. The only way you can really do it is to basically leverage your AdWords campaign. So you put a bunch of money into advertising and hope that the sales that come in just marginally outweigh your investment in ads. And I just didn't want to risk it. I would rather just put my own time into it and risk that. What is this?
Mike can't ever remember how old he is.
Oh, yeah. I'm 27, right?
You're 27?
Yeah.
I don't mind answering. I'm 25, but thank you for giving me the option.
Okay. So what happened after that?
Okay, so after this is one of my personal favorites to tell people almost happened, because it seriously almost happened. We were getting ready to leave New York City. We were talking about coming home, but Mike had this brilliant idea that we were going to be truck drivers.
I didn't had it. I have. It's still a brilliant idea.
If I told him I would do it, we would be in a truck tomorrow. I have no doubt. Mike actually got his CDL license and did all the tests and everything for it, which has come in handy.
I'm actually pretty proud of that because I got it in 3 days. So basically, the way you're supposed to get a CDL license is you do like a 4-week course. But I called a guy and I was like, hey, do you mind if I just do the 3-day refresher course? And if I pass, I pass. And I was able to pass in 3 days. So I was pretty excited about that.
Mm-hmm. So he has a CDL. So we honestly, we were going to be a husband and wife trucking duo.
So how it works is, did all the math. You can basically clear just over $100,000 a year as a couple if you can drive as a couple and share all the income, and you don't have to pay any rent. So basically, we're going to save like $80,000 a year.
Because we would have lived in a truck cab,
yeah.
Which is the part that I wasn't okay with, but I was being talked into it.
But here we are.
It would have been fun to see the world,
yeah.
The country, not the world. I don't know how we would have driven a truck to Europe. Truck drivers, okay. So now this is where Mike's friends come into play again. His friend Ryan from before and his other friend Alex. They've always kind of flipped things on Craigslist. And, okay, really I should say that this started because of the show Sons of Anarchy. they've always driven motorcycles, the three of them. They've had their motorcycle licenses for, 5-6 years. But the show Sons of Anarchy, we started watching it. They all got super into it again, started buying motorcycles, started flipping motorcycles. Then they wanted to have a motorcycle dealership. Mm-hmm. So me being the good wife, I got involved in this one. I got them their dealer's license. I took the test for them.
Yes. So we had always flipped things. In fact, actually, this is when you ask if I've had a full-time job during these things. There's probably some things covering up other mistakes, because actually back in West Palm Beach, I used to flip motorcycles as well. Flipping motorcycles is where you buy them at a price, put a little bit of money, or just even clean them up and then resell them. Same thing we did with the RV. So our last video was about the RV. Used to do the same thing with motorcycles, and still do. I enjoy, if like the video says, if there's anything I want, I just buy it at a cheap price, fix it up a little bit, and then sell it. So we started doing that again. We started watching the show Sons of Anarchy, and then really, really wanted some motorcycles, specifically Harleys, which are really expensive, and we couldn't justify having a bunch of Harleys. So we decided, hey, we'll do the Craigslist arbitrage. So we bought a bunch of motorcycles, flipped them, did really good, made some money, then decided, let's go legit with this thing. Let's get a dealership. And what does it even take to open a dealership?
Not much.
It doesn't take actually very much. There's some red tape to jump through, and it took about 3 months, but we had a full-blown independent used car dealership. We just happened to do motorcycles. We didn't have very many motorcycles. We had like 2 or 3 or 4 at a time. But this one went really well for a little while, and then what happened? We got bored?
Oh, okay. No. They didn't
get
no, they didn't get bored. It actually went into the current business, which are guitar effects pedals.
Oh yeah. So, well, that one.
No, it did. You guys were still doing the dealership thing, and then the pedals started taking over, and so the dealership just got to be a hassle.
Yeah. So the current side project that Alex is no longer working on, who started the dealership, but Ryan, who had the cleaning company with me back in college, tapestryaudio.com. It's a effects pedal. It's a BPM controller for delay pedals for guitarists. So basically, he built this pedal from scratch. We manufacture it, literally down to soldering all the connectors.
I got involved in that too.
Yes.
I sat at a table with them, and I can solder these
we
pedals
hand solder
together.
all of these pedals. So that is the current business that we're in. So when that one was picking up, we kind of just stopped doing the motorcycles.
Got to be too much.
Yes. So
that's where we are now.
That's where we are now. We invested $10,000 into the motorcycles,
which
rolled that cash into the. So currently, this one's in what's it called? When you're out to, this one's up in the air. I guess I'm trying to say whether or not this $10,000 is going to be a good investment or a bad investment.
Oh,
we don't know.
We have 2 things.
Well,
my Frugality is sensible limits. It does. Trucking is too far.
Yeah. Speaking of flipping and online businesses, what are your thoughts on Flippa? Flippa is just too saturated, personally. I tried to look into buying and selling websites because I thought that would be easy enough. I could put a few $1,000s into that. There's a few bloggers. I can't remember any of their names because I was into this. I was really into online marketing in 2011. But honestly, I would look somewhere else. I think you can do better. What is it? Digital Point or something like that, or have better deals. You have to find a way, and it's the same thing we're going through right now with finding a rental house. If we're going to find the best deal, we're not going to find it on the MLS listings. We're not going to have a realtor show us a house. We're going to have to go out and find a deal ourselves. We're going to have to literally just claw it and find it. And that's how we've kind of treated everything. And that's how I treated flipping motorcycles and flipping websites.
Kevin R. wants to hear about the sailboat. It's not really impressive. It's a little Hobie cat.
Yes, it's a 16-foot Hobie cat. But it actually is a cool story because we wanted to learn how to sail. Once we reach financial independence, we're probably going to live on a sailboat for a little while. So we're like, well, let's learn to sail now. But sailing lessons are $400 a piece. So like, I don't know, $800 plus, probably more. It's going to be $1,000 before we learn how to sail. And so I was like, well, why don't we buy a small sailboat and learn to sail on that? So I looked up Hobie cats, got really into Hobie cats for a long time, and then found one for sale on Craigslist, as always. But this one was special because it was $800, which was kind of like, is that serendipity? Is that what that's called? When we were going to spend $800 on lessons and this sailboat was $800. Anyways, but it has a beachfront parking spot that's unsanctioned, but the guy that's been running it for 30 years is
The county just lets it happen.
Yeah, the county kind of likes the sailboats, but they can't tell anyone that they like them because then everyone would have their sailboats out on the beach. So I'm one of like 15 or 10 sailboats that has a parking spot right on the beach. So for $800, we got our own sailboat, and
the guy who we bought it from
is going to teach us.
Is a
sailing instructor for $20 an hour. But then, right after we bought it, a water spout came through and picked up just our sailboat and 2 others and flipped it over on its. So I've been repairing it, and we're almost there. I just got to fix the rudders. I got all the parts. I just have to fix it, and then we'll be showing you some sailing videos. So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
What has been your best business venture on a $1 per hour basis? This is Greg E. Hello, Greg. I mean, it was definitely cleaning. If I was ever down and out and didn't have a job, I would go door to door tomorrow at all these businesses and ask them if I could clean their place. There's 2 types of commercial cleaning. There is just regular monthly office cleanings. These are your insurance agents and your offices and your doctors and things like that. And then there is post-construction cleanup. So
you did some of both.
Yes. We actually had a bunch of jobs. We did all the Subways and all of the Walmarts on the west coast of Florida for a while. There's like east coast of Florida. There's like 6 of them. So that was cool. But office cleaning, you cannot beat. And people just pay. And it's commercial. It's so much money. It's insane. We'd basically go in for like a 1,200 square foot office. It'd be $200 to $400 a month. You go once a week. It takes you 15 minutes. It's amazing money. But
I helped you with that too.
Yeah.
I did get involved.
Yeah, you're very involved.
I turn away from some of them and just trust him, but I'm a supportive wife.
Definitely. I agree.
Thank you. You should.
Yeah. All right. Any other questions? We have a question. Thanks for the answer on Flippa. I'm about 2 minutes behind on the stream. Sorry for the delay. No, yeah, it's kind of weird because the stream is a little bit behind, and then your question, and then we get a little bit behind. So we're going to have to figure that out sometime. But anything else? So the whole point of this video was life with Mike from Lauren's perspective. And of course, hope you guys didn't hear that. We've turned that into me telling all the stories. So Lauren, your feelings.
I think I've kind of sprinkled my feelings in. I think that you're entertaining and there's always something new, but I'm never surprised, and I usually trust your instincts and whatever it is that you're going for.
That's real sweet.
I know. And like I said, I've been supportive. I've been involved.
Yeah.
I sat at a table and soldered guitar pedals.
There was a, like, how many square foot? 5,000 square foot
that
fellowship
was
hall
the
that
worst.
she would vacuum.
That was really the worst.
I think that's about it. What's on the horizon as far as, I mean, YouTube honestly is kind of a side. It's not business, but.
But it's turned into.
Yeah.
Like a job.
Yeah. 3 times a week is a lot. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Because basically, as soon as we finish uploading a video, we're thinking about the next one. So.
But it's fun.
Yes, it is a lot of fun.
We enjoy it.
This is the first side business. That's not why we're doing this, because we're happy with our jobs. But this is the first time that we've like really enjoyed it. Like, I don't enjoy cleaning, but the $1 per hour for $50 to $100 an hour, you can't argue with that. YouTube is a losing venture by far. I don't know if you guys know how much it costs to make these videos, but every song that you hear in the background costs $18. Any sound effect, I mean, every little boop, boop sound effect that you hear is like $2 or $3 a piece. What else is it? All the thumbnails probably cost between $5 and $10 for all the little graphics that kind of go into those. I make them, but I try and save time by buying royalty-free graphics for them. What else? I mean, all the camera equipment, we've got thousands of dollars in that. But we just enjoy doing it, and we want to help clean up YouTube because I don't know if you've noticed, but there's not a ton of great financial videos. And in fact, if you look up like how to invest, most of them are pyramid schemes.
And most of them are the same pyramid
gold
scheme.
buyers, and it's really bad. So we want to make more YouTube videos to help clean it up, and we're trying to help other financial bloggers get some video content. So hopefully you guys are enjoying it.
I think.
It's 3 times a week. Intensity will grow your subscriber base quickly. Yeah, we love. That's honestly, I know it's cliche. Maybe it's not cliche because you guys don't look up like YouTube video, like how to make YouTube video channels. But the cliche answer is always like, oh, we do it for the community. But honestly, this is the best part. Having this chat room, like we love the live shows because having talking to you guys is awesome. So it really is about the community. It really is about giving back because I've been consuming financial content for the past 10 years or so through blogs and books and everything. And I just love video, and Lauren loves video, and we just love doing what we're doing. Seems like your businesses are all over the map. How do you come up with business ideas? Those just come, I don't know. They come naturally.
It's just whatever pops into his head. Honestly.
I just hear something like electronic cigarettes, and I'm like, that's going to revolutionize the world. And then now we have how many electronic cigarette stores? Oh my gosh, if we would have stuck with it. There's like at least 5, maybe 9, 10 independent electronic cigarette stores all selling. Anyways. I think we're going to close there. 30 minutes. Oh my gosh, Lauren. We wanted to keep these to we wanted to keep these to like 10, 15 minutes. Anyways, next week, what are we talking about?
Next week, we're going to be live from New York.
Yes. We're going to New York actually for work for a conference trip. So we're actually going to be going with 11 of our friends. So
in a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment.
Yes. So we're going to do maybe something. I think the topic next week is going to be something about either friends or hiding your frugality. Maybe we'll dive into the hiding your frugality.
Why don't you?
Yes.
Give us some tips.
Yes.
What do you want to hear?
What do you want to see next week regarding friends? Because we're going to be with all of them. We'd love to have them on the show. So make sure you leave them in the comments after we post this video, because I don't know why, but as soon as
we
lose all these comments. I wish they would. Yeah.
Mike was always into personal finance from the start. Yes. Current jobs. Mike works for a church. I work for a jewelry store during the week, and on the weekends I actually work part-time for the church.
The studio we're in right now is actually the church's. So, and the camera we're using is the church's. So definitely thanks Suncoast Community Church. If you want to watch an awesome live service, it's Sundays at 9, 10:30, and noon. So they use all this equipment, and we get to use it on Tuesday night. So thank you, Suncoast. Do your parents watch your videos? Yes. I don't know if they're here. I don't know if they figured out the chat.
My mom was going to try to watch it.
Yeah. But yes, they do watch all of our stuff, and they know everything about us. And we do not hide our net worth or our frugality or our ideas.
Although we forgot to tell Mike's parents about the live show last week, and they're a little bit upset about that. So we're sorry.
Yes.
We're sorry.
But they got it. They
found
it on Facebook.
They watched it. We just forgot to tell them ahead of time.
Okay, 32 minutes. We're going to wrap it up.
Thank you guys so much.
Leave some comments after this is posted of what you want to see next week having to do with friends. And that's it. Thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.